Hi everybody, welcome back. Welcome to the first of my 2 videos every year. No, but seriously, thank you so much for sticking around. You know that for me, it's always a balance between trying to vlog and then trying to enjoy life and my limited free time. Anyway, now it's actually dissertation season and I really should be writing. But I just wanted to get this video out because I know that some of you are applying for the Chevening Scholarship, specifically the 2024 to 25 cohort. And so I wanted to help you guys and pay it forward. So to those of you who don't know me, hello, I am Tina. I'm a corporate lawyer back home focused on energy. Right now, I am in London. Thank you, Chevening Scholarship. I am taking my Master of Laws or my LLM in Energy and Climate Change Law at Queen Mary University of London under a Chevening Scholarship. If you guys haven't seen my previous London vlog, then check it out. I'm gonna leave a link in the description box below so that you guys can just know what your Chevening year will be like. Definitely check it out. Okay, so let's do it. These are my Chevening essay tips from a current Chevener. All of these tips I did myself, by the way, and I'm here in London, so I guess they worked. Okay, so I'm gonna give some general tips first, applicable to all 4 essays, and then we'll go essay by essay. Okay, so first general tip. For each essay, start with a brief introduction and end with a brief conclusion. Here is how your essays will be assessed. First, all essays go through the same reading committee in the UK. That committee will choose the very best essays, and that will be the Chevening long list. Then the reading committee in the UK will send the long list to the embassies of the applicants, and then the embassies of the applicants will select from that long list those who they want to interview. And that is the Chevening shortlist, basically those who get invited to interview. And if you get selected for an interview, then it's at this stage that you will receive that email saying, "We are pleased to inform you that your application for a Chevening Award has been progressed to the next stage of the selection process." Memories. Okay, so that means that the reading committee will be going through thousands of applications. To give you an idea, for my cohort, the 2022 to 23 cohort, there were more than 60,000 applications. That means that the reading committee has to read tens of thousands of applications. So the people marking your essay will be going through thousands of applications, answering the same 4 questions. And I'm sure it can get very repetitive, very boring. So you can see how important it is to stand out and to differentiate yourself from the rest. Otherwise, if your essay is forgettable, then they're just gonna give it a quick read and move on to the next applicant. So how do you make your essay stand out? It's pretty easy. For each essay, you have to draw them in with the introduction. The first sentence, and if possible, even the first few words, should be something that sparks the interest of the reader, something that pulls them in, something that makes them say, that's interesting, that's different. I want to know more about this person and about what he or she does. So that strategy applies to all 4 essays, but especially the first and the last ones. The leadership and influence essay and the career plan essay. Why? Because of course you have to start strong and end strong. With your first essay, draw them in, and with your last essay, leave them impressed. Okay, so just as an example, I'm gonna give you the first sentence of my first essay and the last sentence of my last essay. Okay, first essay. As a painter turned lawyer, tempering the rigidity of the law with an artist's spontaneous creativity has enabled me to ... So you really have to go for it right away. Go for the jugular because there's no other time, really. Okay, last essay. With the resulting proliferation of RE technologies, energy security, economic growth, sustainable development, and climate change mitigation for the Filipino will be achieved in alignment with UN SDGs ... Okay, so next tip is don't use flowery words. Instead, use simple and clear language. The reading committee will not be impressed by you spewing out the most complex, highfalutin words in the dictionary. That's actually just kind of annoying. So, present your ideas in the simplest, clearest way possible, using simple but still formal academic language. Be as precise as possible with your language, don't beat around the bush, and remember that each essay is only 500 words. That's really not a lot, so you have to be intentional about every single word that you put in there. Every word has to serve some purpose and to be there to help you convey your message. Remember, simple and clear, but formal academic language. And definitely don't forget to proofread. Have some smart person you know proofread for you. Next tip, don't be modest. The application process is a competition. If there's a time in your life when you should blow your own trumpet, toot your own horn, or lay out your biggest achievements, then the time is now. Chevening is a highly competitive and an extremely prestigious scholarship program because it's fully funded. Tuition, rent, allowance, everything that you need to survive. If you Google most prestigious scholarships in the world, I guarantee that you'll find Chevening on that list. Each year, only 2 to 3% of applicants are selected. This means that the UK government will only only award it to the most outstanding, most excellent applicants who show the most potential. So you absolutely need to be direct and upfront about the things that you've achieved and the impact that you've created. Remember that this is a scholarship for future leaders. And so to be chosen, the panel has to see that you're already a great leader or that you have massive leadership potential. No, it doesn't have to be leadership specifically in the workplace. Let's get to that later. My point is, in order for them to know how great you are, you have to tell them. Why? Because if you don't tell them, no one is gonna do it for you. The reading committee doesn't know you, doesn't know your achievements, so it is your job to tell them. If you don't, then you're just gonna seem pretty average in a sea of outstanding applicants. Okay, next tip. All essays have to tie in with one another. They have to be cohesive and have to send just one uniform message about who you are and what you do. From those 4 essays, the panel has to be able to get an impression of who you are and what you're about. Your essays shouldn't be all over the place and about so many different focus areas. For example, for me, it was really about one thing, and that was renewable energy. If your essays are not focused and cohesive, then that sends a signal to the reading committee that even you yourself don't know what you're about. So my tip here is to choose just one thing about you, and that will be your theme. It could be renewable energy, nutrition, biodiversity, fintech, development, public policy, banking, transport. There's so many things. Those are some of the actual themes of my Chevening batchmates, by the way. And then, for each of your essays, show them that you're all about that one thing. For example, for my first essay, I wrote about my leadership experiences in the energy industry. For my second essay, I wrote about my networks in the energy industry and in the legal field. Why the legal field? Because I'm doing an LLM. For my third essay, I wrote about my top 3 programs in the UK, all of which were about energy. I'm sorry for the shifting sunlight, guys. It's the London weather. Once you get here, you'll find out just how crazy it is. So you see, all of your essays have to be cohesive and have to send just one message. The reading committee doesn't want people who just say that they will do great things. They want people who they can see have already done things before and who are still doing things now and who will probably continue doing those things in the future. For all 4 essays, keep in mind, they don't know you. You have to tell them. And telling them what you've already done and relating it to what you will do in the future is very important. And remember, stick to one theme. Okay, so let's do tips for each of the 4 essays. Leadership. Okay, so this is from the Chevening website, and if you haven't been on it looking for tips, I suggest that you scour the Chevening website because there's so much valuable information that you can get there. They tell you the characteristics of those applicants who score the highest, the weaknesses of those who don't make it. So it's really a wealth of valuable information that should be your primary source when you're writing your essays. So go on the website. Okay, so for the leadership essay, the best scoring applicants demonstrated clear examples of leadership and influencing with concrete results. Okay, so my tips here are to give 2 to 3 examples of leadership. Your examples don't have to be from work only. They could be from your community, your school. Remember that your examples should show not just leadership, but also influence. You know, it's your ability to persuade people and to get them to see things your way. Next, use the STAR method for each of your examples. What is the STAR method? It's on the Chevening website, so check that out. It basically means situation, task, action, result. That STAR method is incredibly important. I'll emphasize that. I highly recommend that you use it. I did, and so did many of my Chevening batchmates. I think that method is really important because it shows you how to structure your answer while hitting all the points that the reading committee wants to see. And most importantly, it shows them the result, the outcome of your leadership and influencing skills, which is obviously important. After all, the result is how they measure whether you have leadership potential or not. Next, the essay should be about how you led, about how you influenced. So instead of focusing on a collective group effort, instead of saying we did this or we did that, focus instead on what you individually did. You're not trying to get the UK to award your team the scholarship. You're trying to get them to award you the scholarship. So you have to show them your contribution, your action, your initiatives, your achievements. Okay, next essay. Networking. Okay, so again, this is from the Chevening website. Strong applicants in this section used specific examples of their own networks, describing unique and diverse ways of maintaining networks, and discussed how they facilitate networking. So my tips here are, like the leadership essay, give 2 to 3 examples of networking. Again, use the STAR method here. Tell them how you've networked before and the networks that you're a part of. Explain how these networks have benefited you in the past. And also tell them how you yourself have brought value to these networks. Tell them why or how the Chevening network will benefit from having you in it, and also how you will use the Chevening network to forward your career plan. Keep in mind that the networks that you mention here don't have to be super specifically about that one theme. For example, not all of the networks that I mentioned related specifically to renewable energy. Some of them were networks that I had from law school or networks that I had made when I taught in law school. However, I made sure to write about how those networks would help me achieve my goals relating to renewable energy. Chevening is really known for its huge network throughout the world. There are more than 50,000 Chevening alumni from all over the world. It's pretty amazing. And in your batch, when you get selected, there will be more than 1,300 of you, I'm sure. So this network is a valuable tool, and you have to show them how you will use it, and on the flip side, how you will contribute to it, and how it can and will help you achieve your career goals. So again, to summarize, number one, how you have benefited from networking before, how you have brought value to your networks, how you will benefit from the Chevening network, how the Chevening network will benefit from having you in it, and how the Chevening network will help you advance your career goals. Okay, next essay, and this is the fun one. Studying in the UK. Okay, again, from the Chevening website. The strongest answers had a clear focus on study outcomes with evidence of research at institution and course level. The applicants who answered this question best did so by having distinct paragraphs discussing their courses. Okay, so my tips here. First, start by stating a problem in your country. For example, what I said is, the Philippines' sustained economic growth is majorly inhibited by its high electricity prices. And then explain each of your 3 chosen schools and programs and how what you will learn at each of them will help solve that problem that you have stated. So you see, you're pointing out a problem. You're showing that what you're going to be studying is relevant and useful to your country. And you're saying, I can help contribute to solving it by studying this. Otherwise, what's the point of them giving you free money if your degree isn't really gonna contribute anything? Next tip, your chosen programs have to be quite similar. This shows your laser focus about that one theme that you are all about. If your 3 programs are about completely different things, that's not going to convince the reading committee that you have a clear vision about who you are, of where you want to be, and of what you want to do in the future. For example, it won't look good if your first choice is finance, and then your second choice data analytics, and then your third choice public policy. Sobrang kalat, diba? So for example, my first choice was the Energy and Climate Change Law LLM at Queen Mary University of London. That's where I'm studying now. My second choice was the International Energy and Environmental Law LLM at University of Stirling. My third choice was the International Energy and Environmental Law LLM at Nottingham Trent University. So all my programs were similar and they all reflected my theme of renewable energy. So I discussed my 3 schools in one separate paragraph each. My first choice, then my second, then my third. Of course, I discussed my first choice the most extensively and in depth. Specifically, I wrote about the university's ranking as one of the top law schools in the world, the location, the networking and career opportunities. I also named a particular professor, named some modules that I wanted to take, and of course, about how the program tied in with my one theme of renewable energy. Again, everything has to be connected. So write about specific modules you want to take, professors you want to learn from. Be as specific as possible because it really shows that you've done your research. Also, be sure to include non-academic reasons for choosing a particular school. For example, extracurriculars offered, networking opportunities, internship opportunities, the cost of living is low in that city, the university has a nice sports complex. Just include a few fun reasons for wanting to study in a particular school or city. For example, for me, I mentioned some Harry Potter filming locations in London. Be sure to do this because it shows the committee that you're not just all about studies. The UK government doesn't want scholars who will just be holed in their entire rooms for 1 year. They want dynamic, multifaceted people who will go out, who will explore and enjoy the UK, network, volunteer. In short, people who aren't just smart, but people who also want to have fun. So give them the fun things that they want to hear. In fact, in my interview, I remember that this was the question that my interviewer had the most fun asking me. He was really smiling when he asked me the other things that I wanted to do in the UK aside from studying. He even said that it was the fun question. Okay, last essay, career plan. Again, this is from the Chevening website. The strongest responses tended to be based on an outline of specific concrete goals, which usually therefore seemed more convincing and achievable. So my tip here is to include a short-term, mid-term, and long-term career plan. Short-term is 1 to 2 years after you've returned from your scholarship. Mid-term is 2 to 5, and long-term is 5 to 10. So your career plan has to show how you will use everything that you gained during your Chevening year, your studies, your knowledge, your network, internship experience, etc., to create impact in your field. Be very specific here also. The more specific, the better. Tell them where you will work, what exactly you will do there, etc. And ultimately, how your career plan will contribute to a better country. So this is very, very important. Your career plan shouldn't just be about advancing your own personal interest and making a whole bunch of money or as a springboard for you to take your PhD later. It has to be about something bigger. It has to be about using your degree to do something good for your community or your country. It does not have to be super, super grand. It doesn't have to be something like, I want to be the Secretary of the Department of Energy one day. Because I don't. And I definitely didn't say that. It just has to be something that will create good impact in your field. Like for my long-term career plan, I actually said I want to be a consultant working in the private sector, but I also want to do pro bono consultancy work and to educate people on renewable energy. So you see, it really doesn't have to be anything crazy. It just has to be meaningful. Be detailed and specific. Don't just say, oh, I want to make the world a better place, or I want to bring economic growth to the Philippines. You have to show how you will make the world a better place, how you will bring economic growth to the Philippines, and how you will do it using the tools that you have gained during your chevening year. You also have to show that you need the scholarship, you need the knowledge, the education, the network, etc. Because if you convey the message that you can do it all on your own, then why would they give you the scholarship? So show them how you need chevening, but also how chevening needs you. Don't just tell them what you will do. Tell them how you will actually do it. Everything in your career plan has to tie in with your one chosen theme. And this fourth essay is the one where you will tie everything up into this nice, neat bundle. With every essay, you're telling them a little bit about who you are and what you're about, and all of your different facets. In the first essay, you're telling them, I'm a leader. You can see it from how I have done this and this and this before. In the second essay, you're telling them, I have these networks. These networks have helped me before, and I have also helped these networks. I will continue this networking during my chevening year, and this is what I will give to and take from the chevening network. In the third essay, you're telling them why you want to study a particular thing and how studying it will help you achieve your career plan, which in turn has to create some beneficial impact for your community or your country. Lastly, since this is the last essay, like I said, you have to end with a very strong conclusion. Start strong and strong. Okay, so those are all the tips that I have for you guys. I hope they help. I definitely used those tips myself, and I wouldn't give them to you if I didn't think that they worked. Good luck writing your chevening essays. Definitely give it time, don't rush it, and definitely believe that you can do it. There's something special about each and every one of us, and you just have to bring that forward so that the chevening panel can see it. Remember, they don't know you, so you have to tell them. Okay, it's time for me to get back to writing my dissertation. I think I've procrastinated enough today. Wish me luck just as I wish you the best of luck. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!